Hey folks, welcome to the video. I'm Dr. Patty Barch, and it looks like lately I've been so busy that the only time I have to create videos for you is in the few minutes before I go into the gym. So you keep getting me in my athletic wear, which I hope you enjoy and appreciate. That being said, before we get into the video today, I just want to say that this is not legal advice, so please consult an attorney. But many people have reached out to me and they're a bit distraught because they are being forced or coerced into getting a medical procedure done that they don't want to have done. So what I imagined is if I were in that situation, what would be the questions and the issues that I would bring to the attention of the people who were making this decision. So the biggest two places from what I'm hearing so far are, of course, workplaces and learning institutions, so schools, universities, that sort of thing. So some of these are only applicable toward one or the other, but let me just give you some thoughts. So what you want to do is stay in your power and understand a few things. So one is no employer wants to lose a valuable employee, right? Employees take a lot of time and money to train and do onboarding and get them good at their job and self-sufficient. And no employer wants to have to replace any employee, never mind a lot of employees. So if people were to stand together in their power, this would work even better. And when it comes to schools and universities, they get paid by the enrollment. Even public schools get a certain amount of money from the government based on how many butts they have in the seats as of a certain date. It was October something when I was teaching in Massachusetts. So if your employer is requiring or coercing in any way, you should have a meeting with someone in human resources or depending on the size of the business, that might actually just be the business owner. And you want to ask them, could you please explain to me the difference between FDA approval and emergency use authorization? And then you wait for them to explain it to you. And if they can't explain it, then you say, okay, so just so we're clear, I want you to understand the difference between FDA approval and emergency use authorization. FDA approval is the well-established system of bringing new drugs and procedures through the trial process to make sure that there are no harm will be done, or that they're considered safe, so to speak. And for these types of things, the least amount of time it has ever taken for one to go through that process is 5 years. It typically takes closer to 8 years to bring that kind of new procedure technology shot through that system. So this was done in a matter of months. So I imagine that there would be some steps that were skipped. And because this is not FDA approved. Now, many people will push back on you on that because even the mainstream media is putting out misinformation and calling them approved and using the word approved, and they are not approved. That they have only been authorized. Emergency use authorization means that for a period of time, since there is no approved treatment for a condition, they will authorize an experimental compound drug vaccine to be utilized until they can find a treatment or get through the entire approval process. So make sure that they understand the difference between FDA approved and emergency use authorization. Then, once you've established that emergency use authorization is not fully approved and it is considered an experimental period of time, then you make it clear. So what you're saying is you are requiring me to participate in an experimental medical procedure in order to work here or in order to attend school here. So just so we're clear, that's what's happening, right? And then you want to say, okay, so have you consulted your attorneys about your level of liability in this matter? Because in case you are unaware, since the 80s, it has been the law in the United States that no vaccine manufacturer can be held liable for any damages or deaths that occur based on the use of their vaccine. So if the liability is not on the manufacturer and you're requiring me to participate in this experimental medical procedure in order to work here or go to school here, I would like to know your lawyer's opinion on your level of liability. Also, according to OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, if you require me to go through this experimental medical procedure and I am injured, this is a reportable event. You can find it on the OSHA website, and I may be entitled to compensation, workman's compensation for any time off, whether it's something like I have a headache for a few days afterwards, or I have Guillain-Barré, or Bell's palsy, or blood clots, or menstrual dysfunction, or any of the things, thousands of things that have been reported by people who have undergone this experimental medical procedure. So what I need from you is the contact information for your attorney, so I can just make sure that they have agreed that you can coerce your students or employees to undergo an experimental medical procedure, and that they have checked with the laws if this is required or allowed, and the insurance company as far as your level of liability for requiring this. Also, let's see what else I would say in that situation. You know, there's a lot going on in the world. What I really want you to know is that you have power, and it's important for you to stay in your power and put it back on them. Let them be the ones to have to check with their attorney and to check with their insurance agent. And then you could bring in the word discrimination as well, because it has been brought to my attention that some workplaces are not allowing people who have not undergone this experimental medical procedure to actually be in the same area as their coworkers. So they can't eat lunch or congregate with their coworkers because they haven't received this experimental medical procedure. So you could ask about healthcare discrimination and just say that you want to ask people about that. I remembered the last thing that I wanted to say. So sometimes in a school, there versus an employer, but it could be in the same in one case or the other. You want to find out, like, okay, so I need to know the name or names of the people or person who have made this decision to require this, because they may have some personal liability as well for requiring this. So whether it's a board of directors, a school board, whatever the president, CEO, whatever the case may be, whoever is the person who has made the decision, and if they don't get back with you, if they can't tell you who that is, you can just say, like, until I know who is responsible for this, so that if anything happens, I know who I need to be speaking with, I'm not even moving forward with this at all. The other thing I just want to say before I wrap this up is give yourself some time. It's early May right now. School isn't going to start till August or September. A lot of things could happen between now and then, so there is no need to rush. Okay, so you like this video, you can go to naturallyunbridled.com. YouTube.com/naturallyunbridled for more videos. Peace out, peeps. Be well.